AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Coming right up, another fun varsity sports show.
Hi kids, this is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Delicio. And what's your last name?
It's Delicio.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, right. Yeah.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Vince Delicio, and we are doing our first remote broadcast of the fall, and what a way to kick things off. We are in the midst of fall. We are here we're actually right on the border of Phoenix, Tempe. We're at the Phoenix Zoo today, and there's a lot of good stuff going on out here. There's a lot of residents that were very happy that we came in this morning, walked by a couple of the exhibits and the tortoise house and where our friends the primates are, and the giraffes, and there's some families out here this morning already starting to assemble. So come on out to the Phoenix Zoo today. Not really anything in terms of anything real seasonal going on. They're getting ready for zoo lights, but we're just out at the zoo. We wanted to come to the zoo today, so we're here. I'm joined by a couple of our broadcast partners here. We have with us Ella Walter Sanchez. That is she's one of our student interns. She is a senior at Arcadia High School in Phoenix, part of the Scottsdale Unified School District, and they are participating in our internship program, broadcast intern, a young talent. Ella, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're great. We're gonna get to talking to you more and more. You've co-hosted the show before. Yes. We're gonna find out what you're up to and how the Scottsdale Sports Report has been going, of which you are contributing every other week to that. And then we've got Connor Manning, one of our talented Cronkite interns from ASU. Connor, how's it going?
Pretty good. It's a very nice, quiet day. I don't know if the animals will say the same thing about us right now, but it is a beautiful morning, and I'm glad to be here right now.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. And then, of course, we've got our very talented producer, longtime producer, team member, Aaron Decker, who's in the studio with us today. So thanks for joining us this morning and for joining us on this amazing journey. And, I got a little nostalgic, shed a tear as I was walking up, because they literally put us in a Ramada, which... if you walk in, we're a little distance back from concessions. We're down this long driveway near a bunch of exhibits right near the lake. There's swans behind us, and then we've got the Wallace, Ladmo, and Gerald bronze statue in front of us. So I got a little teary-eyed because that was a show that those of you that are longtime Valley residents that have been around more than 30 years know where I'm going with this, and that was the greatest kid show of all time. Woke up with it every morning. I'd hear that theme song, da da da. And then I'd go to school, and it was I'd have my breakfast, and then I'd go to school, and I love that show. So anyway, we're right near the statue, Wallace, Ladmo, and Gerald, and we're gonna have an amazing show. We got a lot of content today. As we do every week, and of course, we're the only show that features all of the coaches that we feature every single week. You want to weigh in on, we're right in the thick of football season, and particularly high school football season. And I say this not to brag, but I'm bragging. We draw the largest audience of any local sports media outlet out there, hands down, when you look at combined factors of our radio audience as well as our live stream audience. Guys, we have 8 YouTube channels that we are running games on simultaneously on Friday nights, typically between 6 and 8. But we've got 8 channels, and then we've got our NFHS platform, NFHS channels. So that's a lot of volume, a lot of eyes, a lot of ears. And what we do on Saturday morning is we feature the coaches that were part of games on Friday nights. So throughout the show, you're going to hear from these guys, and it's cool because these guys know that this is a regular place where they can come on and they can talk about their games, their kids, their teams, and kind of give us a breakdown, as well as all of the amazing content from our incredible team. We're going to start off. One of our incredible team members, we have a partnership with the University of Florida out in Gainesville. You talk about being nationwide, being worldwide. We've got one of our broadcast journalism students out at the University of Florida. His name is Bennett Solomon, and he's presenting content to us today live. He's going to talk to us a little bit about a little program out in Florida called IMG and some of the Arizona kids that have come through there. And I know it's been frustrating. We lost a couple of those talented kids out to IMG, but greener pastures, and we're going to get some updates. So, Bennett, good morning, sir. You there?
Good morning, Vince. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, Bennett, I'm here with Connor and Ella, and tell us a little bit. Let's start with, first of all, there's a young man named Jamar Malone that played out at Higley, and Dylan Raiola, who is out at Chandler. These two guys, big-time guys, they were here in Arizona. They spent some time out in Florida. Who do you want to start with?
I'll start with Jamar Malone.
Okay.
And so Jamar Malone, so in the spring, I saw he was supposed to play at IMG in the fall, but something must have happened because he ended up at Daphne High School in Alabama. So now he's currently there. He's killing it right now. I couldn't bring up any stats on this year, but at Higley recorded 4,017 passing yards with 44 touchdowns last year. I mean, that really stuck out to me. But right now he has 13 offers, according to Rivals, including Arizona, Oregon, Utah, and Northern Arizona. So, his Arizona roots are still there. Could definitely see him playing at Power 5 school. And, he's still got another year of high school left. So expect him to possibly come back to Arizona and play his college ball there.
So he could end up coming back here. That'll be interesting. But it's nice to see that, he basically landed on his feet, made some decisions, and he's doing what's best for him. So, okay, all right, great. The other one, Dylan Raiola. He was a quarterback out at Chandler and moved around a bit, but found his way out there.
Yeah, so Dylan Raiola right now is playing for Buford High School. It's in the state above me in Georgia, but he's had a really good year, 1,120 passing yards and 14 touchdowns. And when I was doing my research, one thing he was supposed to play at Pinnacle this year. He was supposed to transfer from Chandler to Pinnacle, but the Arizona Interscholastic Association was going to suspend him for 5 games if he decided to stay at Pinnacle. Obviously wanted to play. Him and his family talked it over. So he's a Georgia commit, the top overall 2024 recruit in the class. He's going to Georgia, so, he decided to just move to Georgia early and killing it with Buford, and he'll be with the Georgia Bulldogs next year.
Interesting. Well, yeah, and that's we've got a transfer rule here in the state of Arizona that you sit out 5 games if you move. It's been met with some controversy. Sometimes there's a hardship situation, and kids and families will argue every time somebody has to move. It is a hardship situation, but anyway, that's how that goes. So nice to see that that Dylan has moved on. He's being successful, and he'll end up in college at the University of Georgia, and he's living in Georgia now. So awesome. Real quick update on IMG in general. How they doing?
Well, Vince, IMG's always doing well. I actually did find another active player for IMG from Arizona. I don't know if you've heard of Andrew Dudley. He's an offensive lineman. He played for Pinnacle last year. And he was actually in Arizona a week ago visiting the University of Arizona, maybe on a visit. But IMG, pretty sure they're undefeated, always have one of the most talented rosters in the nation. They're killing it, as always.
Nice. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. Bennett Solomon, our boots on the ground expert in national high school reporting out of the state of Florida, and he is at the University of Florida, one of our team members in Gainesville. Every other week we'll get a high school report from him, and then on alternate weeks he'll report on the Gators. So thanks again, Bennett. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Vince.
All right, guys, that kicking things off right away with a national scene, a lot of good things going on out there. We're going to continue our role and in going through the show. We got a report on NBA news and the Olympics from our very own Parker Gurash. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm Parker Gurash with the latest from the Varsity Sports Show. With a little under a year before the 2024 Paris Olympics, many NBA players already say they would love to represent the U.S. Well, after a lot of thought and consideration, it looks like the USA just got a major boost at the big man position. Philadelphia 76ers star and MVP of the league Joel Embiid has committed to play for America at next year's Olympic Games. He chose the U.S. over France, home country of Cameroon. The only reason Embiid was able to do this is because he was granted citizenship in all three countries, meaning he could play for whatever team he would want to. Now, what does this mean, you might ask? Well, the U.S. just added, when healthy, a top 10 player in the NBA and one of the most dominant centers the league has ever seen. This is a major boost for the U.S. after a below-average performance at the FIBA World Cup. In some people's minds, the Avengers of basketball could be assembled shortly after Embiid's commitment, as Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Stephen Curry, as well as many more stars in this league, have all said they would love to play for the Stars and Stripes. It will definitely be something to watch in 2024. I'm Parker Gurash with the latest from the Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning, this is Bobby Murphy here with the Varsity Sports Show, here to give you a quick update on the Suns as they look to begin the preseason this weekend. After a huge offseason where the team acquired Bradley Beal and brought in a new head coach in Frank Vogel, owner Matt Ishbia and general manager James Jones were still busy in the past week as the Suns finally parted ways with center DeAndre Ayton. Ayton was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers in a 3-team trade that sent Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. In return, the Suns acquired Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. After a polarizing tenure with the Suns that included a finals run in 2021, Ayton's departure leaves Devin Booker as the only remaining player from the 2021 finals team. Entering this season, most of the starting lineup is set, with Bradley Beal expected to start at point guard alongside Devin Booker in the backcourt. Kevin Durant and Nurkic will start in the front court alongside a forward who is yet to be announced. Possible players for that final starting spot are Josh Okogie, Grayson Allen, and Keita Bates-Diop. With the star-studded starting rotation, James Jones was able to fill out the depth pretty well this offseason by adding Bates-Diop, Allen, Yuta Watanabe, Drew Eubanks, and Bobo. Suns fans should be excited for yet another great season, this time a full one with the big three of Booker, Durant, and Beal. The Suns began the preseason on Sunday against the Pistons before hosting the reigning champion Denver Nuggets on Tuesday. This has been Bobby Murphy here with the Varsity Sports Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060. Vince, Connor, and Ella, we are out at the Phoenix Zoo this morning doing the show outside. It's amazing. It's a beautiful morning. A little overcast, nice breeze, no complaints. But coming up after the break, we are starting our recaps with coaches from around the valley. Connor, who do we have coming up after the break?
Our first guest is going to be North High School coach Mark Mejia. They had a close win last night, unfortunately against your Camelback Spartans, Vince. Okay. Going to talk to him, just kind of recap the game, and then sitting at 3-4, they've got quite a little bit of a stretch here to try and make the playoffs, so looking forward to hearing from him after the break.
All right, you guys, stick around. We'll be right back here on the Varsity Sports Show with Coach Mark Mejia, North High Mustangs. We'll be back.
Hey Phoenix, Doug Gottlieb here. I'm bringing the best sports talk weekdays to you, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060.
I'm Shea Garrett from the Varsity Sports Show, and I am looking forward to immersing myself in high school sports in the Valley. I have a passion for sport and storytelling, and I am so eager for a chance to combine these two this season.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbetterAthletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind. Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
This is just something I like to call breakfast.
With big-name guests, timely sports information, and more on KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. I'm Connor Manning here with Ella and Vince, and we have our guest from North High School, Coach Mark Mejia. Mark, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Coach Mejia. Thank you for having us on, or thank you for being on here today. Coach, it was quite the nail-biting win last night. What were some of your favorite moments from the game?
Well, I mean, obviously the winning drive, the catch by our guy made an amazing catch. He was playing D-end all night. He made a tremendous catch. But just the way our kids persevered, we had a ton of penalties. Just a lot of things that were that we were in control of, and made just a lot of frustrating penalties that went against us, and we just continue to persevere and push through, and I was just proud of our kids. Amazing win. Shouldn't have been that close, but we'll take the win however it comes.
Especially at this point in the season. Coach, sitting at 3-4, what are the biggest things that you're going to continue to stress to your players en route for that final stretch of trying to make the playoffs?
Well, just striving for our goals. Hey, go 1-0 each week, win the region, and then let the cards fall where they may. We played a tough early stretch with a few games. I'd love to have the St. Mary's and Desert View game back. With our transfers now that we got them, and we had a couple of key injuries that were out. We got all of them back. We had all of our kids back last night, but you don't get those back. It's not how it goes. But that's our focus. Hey, 1-0 each week. Continue to focus on our bigger goal, winning region, and at the end of the day, however it may fall, let it be what it be.
Well, you got the bye week coming up, and then you're taking on Trevor G. Brown. After that, you got two of your last 3 games of the season are on the road. What are some of the important things you're going to tell your players during this bye week to kind of stay ready for those type of games?
Well, we talked about this for since all season. We break the season up into different fragments, and right now the focus is building momentum. We didn't have the start to the season that we wanted, but now it's about building momentum. And we're not caught up in where we're playing or, necessarily who we're playing, even though obviously we're preparing for our opponent. But we're getting ready to go to Trevor. You know, we got to get healthy this week, get our everyone back to full strength, and we got a lot of kids. You know, one thing that we have, I don't know, you know, how many of the teams have this, but we got a lot of kids that play 100+ snaps a game. When you're talking 150, 160 snaps in a high school game, and we got multiple kids playing over 100. So it's, you know, just getting them to get their bodies back to full strength, and then, you know, we'll focus on Trevor, and that'll be our main priority, not anything else.
Hey, Coach, Vince here. Hey, congratulations on the win last night. I got to say, you broke my heart because that's my alum that you guys got the win against. I'm glad you won, but it had to be against my alumni. Come on.
Hey, it's all right, Vince. I told him at the end of the game, I said, hey, tell Vince the check's in the mail. Hopefully
that's, you know, they told me that, and all I could do was just shake my head. But anyway, Coach, we're real excited for you. Talk about the fact, you know, I know that we're running a little close on time here, but you literally have to win out. With your schedule, you guys think you can do it?
Yeah, I mean, every game's winnable. That's the way we treat it, you know. I mean, you know, just being very blunt, you know, I talked with Hovick. Hovick's one of my best buds, best friends. I recruited him out of high school when I was coaching in college.
Out at Central, yeah.
And we know that's going to be a tough game. You know, Trevor's played everyone tough, but every game's winnable, you know, and we believe that. You know, when we're at full strength, we believe we played ALA Gilbert tough for a half. You know, we just didn't have enough bullets. And, you know, we believe everything's winnable, everything's on the table, everything we want to strive for, all of our goals are right there. Just got to focus on Trevor, and then we'll get ready for whatever we got to do when we have that opportunity. But, you know, trust me, that light at the end of the tunnel, we definitely are peeking at it. And if we, you know, if those are how it goes, we believe that we do have a shot at the postseason, but our focus is Trevor.
All right. North High School Mustangs head football coach Mark Mejia, big win last night. Crosstown rival at Camelback Spartans. They sit at 3-4 now and control their own destiny. Congrats, Coach. We'll look forward to circling back with you.
Hey, no, thank you a ton, Vince. Hey, I love and appreciate you so much, man. This was great. You know, can't wait to do it again. Just accept that IOU check. It'll be coming. Don't worry.
We've been friends a long time, Coach. We give each other a hard time, and so we appreciate you as well.
Buddy.
And we love promoting the kids. You got a lot of great kids out there. Keep it up. You're good for the program.
No, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate all that you're doing in the Valley, all that you're promoting. Our kids are really thankful and blessed for what you do.
All right. Take it away, Aaron.
It's the postseason, and Red October is back in Philadelphia. The Phillies are in the playoffs again, and they're already making noise. Literally. One of the hardest places to play in baseball has been Citizens Bank Park, and it is shown in the World Series last year. The stadium was so loud that people were getting noise warnings from their phones saying it was dangerously loud. Now it's back this year. The Phillies just swept the Marlins in front of another loud crowd and improved their playoff record at Citizens Bank Park to 24-11. According to Sarah Langs on Twitter, their .686 win percentage is the best of any team in the playoffs at any stadium, ahead of the Mets' 26-13 record at Shea Stadium. Next up for Philadelphia, an exciting rematch of last year's NLDS against the Atlanta Braves starting Saturday. That's all I've got for you today. I'm Stephen Buxton with Varsity Sports.
Prime time is coming to the Valley. Hi, I'm Tortorella of Varsity Sports, and Deion Sanders and the rock and roll-ass Colorado Buffalo are coming to Mountain America Stadium playing Arizona State football. Both teams are coming off close losses and both looking to try and get back in the win column. And for ASU, it could be a historically bad start, as if they lose on Saturday, it'll be their first 1-5 start since 1942. If you're ASU, you have to look out for the Buffalo's offensive weapons, obviously with Heisman candidate Shedeur Sanders. He's lost a little bit of his steam with the team's recent struggles, but remains at the top of concerns for ASU. Sanders has 17 total touchdowns so far, 15 in the air and 2 on the ground, which matches Colorado's touchdown total at week 10 of last year. Sanders has spread the love, most notably with Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn Jr., as Weaver leads the Colorado Buffalo with 41 receptions and 490 receiving yards, while Horns Jr. is in the top spot with 4 total touchdowns. Travis Hunter will also be out again this weekend after experiencing an injury against Colorado State. However, it's not all great for the Buffalo, as their defense has struggled mightily this year, as they're last in the Pac-12 in points allowed with 36.2 and 480 yards allowed per game. They do have experienced corners, most notably with junior safety Cameron Sinlam Craig and returner Trevor Woods. But the front seven has struggled right now against the run, as that could be a big help for ASU, as Cam Scatterbo has showcased that he is vital for ASU's offensive success. Colorado is dead last in rushing yards allowed with 184.2. 3 of their first 5 games have seen the opposing team rush for over 200 yards. I'm Tanner Tortorella with Varsity Sports, signing off.
I'm Shea Garrett with the Varsity Sports Show. Sports have an incredible power to bring people together, ignite passion, and inspire many. While thrilling victories and intense rivalries dominate headlines, it is often the sentimental moments that touch our hearts and remind us of what's at the core of the competition. Baseball fans witnessed that this week when Detroit Tigers legend Miguel Cabrera said goodbye to baseball, putting an end to a remarkable 21-year career. In his emotional final game, the Tigers coaching staff ensured there wasn't a dry eye in that building when they allowed Cabrera to play first base one last time. Primarily a first baseman for the Tigers since 2008, various injuries held him back from playing this spot the last few years. But in front of a sold-out stadium in his finale, Cabrera bid farewell to baseball in front of family, teammates, and over 40,000 fans. While happy tears were being shed in Detroit, it was yet another reminder of the power of sports and the emotions that they can bring. Think back to January, when Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest during a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. It shook the stadium, the broadcasters in the booth, and football fans across the world. Bills, and fans alike, rallied around Hamlin last season and used his presence to uplift the team. While he was recovering, Hamlin expressed his appreciation for fans and how he truly felt the prayers in the stadium saved his life. It is sentimental moments that truly capture the essence of what sports mean to us. These moments remind us of the value of perseverance, sportsmanship, and unity. They evoke emotions and create lasting memories, showing that sports go far beyond the box score. In the end, it's the sentimental moments that make sports a beautiful, meaningful part of our lives. With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Shea Garrett.
KDUS AM 1060 is the home to the Dan Patrick Show, the Doug Gottlieb Show, and Sports Map Radio. Catch all the sports content here on AM 1060.
I'm Lorenzo Lopez with the Varsity Sports Show, keeping you all informed with sports here around the Valley.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third-generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
Hi Varsity sports fans, this is Sykora. Make sure you stay tuned for our halftime where we break down different highlights from sports locally or otherwise. So plenty of entertainment and content coming your way if you stick around with us. What I personally think is cool about our halftime show is we cover different sports, maybe some you might not expect, and a variety of different content, of course, high school football, and maybe some professional stuff such as NFL highlights from the previous week.
Catch the Doug Gottlieb Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com.
You are listening to The Husky Report with Horizon Husky football coach Andy Litten on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Welcome back here to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060. Sorry about that. We are live here with Coach Andy Litten from Horizon. Coach, can you hear us?
Yes.
Coach, thank you for tuning in this morning. Impressive win at home against Notre Dame. What can you say about your team's response last night following last week's tough loss to Desert Mountain?
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. You know, it's not easy to get past a tough loss, and and then we were going into a game with a team that had the better end of us the last 2 years, and so I'm really proud of how they were able to be able to learn from our tough game and then kind of put it in the trash and move on and regroup and win. So very proud of the effort of the young guys in this case.
Coach, our player of the game last week, Jace Ashley, was impressive again. What can you say about him and his leadership that he's brought for your team this season?
He's just done a really good job orchestrating the offense and taking what the defense gives him. He's made big plays, but really the biggest thing is that he's just smart and gets us into our tempo offense where we also change gears and we muddle huddle, and we just do an awful lot, and he does a great job orchestrating it for us.
How does it feel like confidence-wise knowing when you have a quarterback like that you have that full trust to be able to conduct the offense like that, knowing that he's always going to be a playmaker out on the field?
Yeah, well, the nicest thing with Jace is that he can beat you with his legs or his arms. So, you have to account for him in our run game. And when you have, big offensive linemen and tight ends and big, brutal, running backs and, tough athletic receivers, that he just kind of makes and accentuates the offense to where you can't just limit yourself into, hey, we're going to stack the box and stop the run, or vice versa. We're going to drop 8 because you got to account for him.
Well, it seems like you can't escape the big matchups. You guys are currently sitting in 5th in the 5A rankings, according to AZ Preps 365. You guys have the bye week, and then you guys are on the road taking on a very good 3rd-ranked Higley. What are some of the most important things you're going to stress to your players during this bye week, and then how are you guys going to get ready for the Knights?
We just need to clean things up defensively. We need to make sure that we clean up our tackling. We missed too many last night, in my opinion. Penalties as well. Penalties have kind of been our Achilles heel. Our loss at Desert Mountain, we had really 3 bad ones at the end that really cost us. And last night we had another one that was late. That we just need to clean things up. And then we need to take, on the offensive side, we need to take care of the ball. We had 3 turnovers against Desert Mountain. We had 1 on a kickoff return last night. So if we do those things, I think we can be a really good football team.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. Always appreciate your time, and have a good bye week, and then good luck against Higley.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Interesting. So, Coach had a big win last night. They're finally getting back on track, and after a loss of, I wouldn't say consecutive losses, but they lost to Pinnacle, came back with a big win against Millennium, and then, of course, that game last week that came down to the final minute against Desert Mountain. They got things on track in a big way last night against Notre Dame Prep. So I think they're back. They're rolling. Their quarterback, Jace Ashley, playing really well. And then, of course, you can't deny the fact that they've got such a strong running game between those two backs, Sykora and Zamorano. So good for them as they head into the bye week. And then, of course, they'll be facing the Higley Knights, defend 5A state champions, and Coach Eddie Zuby. So should make for an interesting, compelling matchup for them. So really happy for Coach Litten and the Horizon community in general. So let's send it off to our next segment, our next contributor, our very own Lorenzo Lopez, reporting on Phoenix Rising Soccer.
Good morning, Lorenzo Lopez here on the Varsity Sports Show, and tonight, Phoenix Rising against New Mexico United, the last home game of the season at the Phoenix Rising Stadium at 38th Street and Washington. We have yet another 7:30 p.m. kickoff tonight, and due to their draw against Orange County SC 1-1 last weekend, Rising will be confirmed to be in the playoffs. Although Rising did secure their spot in the playoffs last weekend, there is still a lot on the line for them as far as seeding goes for playoffs. Rising currently sits 5th place in the Western Conference standings, just 3 points behind San Diego Loyal and 3 points behind Orange County SC, who are both in 4th and 3rd place. They need to be 4th place or higher to secure a home playoff game for the first round. New Mexico United, on the other hand, is in 10th place, just 2 points behind 8th place Oakland Roots. So a win against Phoenix Rising on the road would be very beneficial and could sneak them into the number 8 slot. My prediction for tonight's match, it's going to be a 3-0 win for Phoenix Rising. A goal from Denny Trejo, a goal from Arteaga, and a goal from Formella. You heard it here first, folks. Tune in next week where I preview the final game of the season on the road against Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Again, that's tonight, 7:30 p.m. at the Phoenix Rising Stadium on 38th Street and Washington. I'm Lorenzo Lopez from the Varsity Sports Show.
How do you build something? How long does that something take? How about this one? What exactly is the something you're building? However you swing the story, something being brewed is always a long road ahead. For instance, let's say you're building a city. They always tell us Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't. It took years of ground layers to be produced and pieced together. Failure happened, war happened, and over time, a culture was fostered, an empire built. The people become revered, and the world that they built honored for all of time. What about a city like Phoenix? One that hung around for a long time, slowly trudging forward in terms of amassed territory and population. Then, one day, it boomed. The population shot up almost overnight. Places that used to be barren desert became Goodyear and Altuve and the Santan Valley. Mesa became a place of the past as the West Valley surged, and Tempe triumphed as a college town, growing in size all the same. Cities and things in general don't materialize in a day, or a week, or a year. Dynasties don't grow before we can blink. We watch dynasties shine and surge over time, slowly getting to the top before remaining at the pinnacle. That's where Kenny Dillingham, founder of Tempe's potential empire, arrives in our story. A bright mind with a booming character, Dillingham is a native son of this valley, and someone who believes that his school, his university, his football team, can same as his city. It can simply explode. The 2023 Arizona Sun Devils haven't found any footing to go on an explosive run, home or away, this season. But you listen to Dillingham preach values and other important figures in college athletics preach about Kenny, and one can't help but think that Rome is being built, or at least some form of Rome, here in Tempe, Arizona. It's a program primed for a conference move, and even more infectious injections of energy. Dillingham and his alma mater aren't being built in a day. But this football team, one that's never hit the heights it should, is being built in all the right ways on this very long road ahead.
Hey, it's Kobe from Varsity Sports, and we've got playoff baseball in the horizons. The wildcard matchups all ended on Tuesday, so let's recap the wildcard week and preview some of the divisional series matchups. In the American League, the Texas Rangers swept Tampa Bay Rays in 2 games. The Rangers will go on to face the 1-seeded Baltimore Orioles, who have just been crushing it this season with all of that youth. In the other AL wildcard, the Minnesota Twins swept the Toronto Blue Jays, getting their first postseason win since 2004. They will go on to face the 2-seeded Houston Astros and other ALDS. Moving on over to the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies swept the Miami Marlins, and they will go on to face the one-seeded Atlanta Braves. And the final wild card matchup was, believe it or not, another sweep, as the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Milwaukee Brewers, and they will be set to face the 2-seeded Dodgers. For only the second time in history, 4 teams were all eliminated on the same day. The most surprising sweep of them all was the Arizona Diamondbacks. The D-backs came out with a surprising Game 1 victory because they were forced to throw out rookie starter Brandon Pfaadt, who didn't knock anyone's socks off, but with a short leash and a powerful offense, the Diamondbacks were able to pull off an impressive win against the 2021 NL Cy Young Corbin Burnes. After that, the Diamondbacks got a strong start from their ace Zach Gallen on Tuesday and were able to pull off a surprising sweep. All of these series are set to begin on Saturday, October 7th, so grab your popcorn, folks, because we have a lot of drama coming your way. From Varsity Sports, I'm Toby Van Nort.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince, Ella, and Connor live from the Phoenix Zoo this morning. Now we've got a bunch of families showing up. Now you're starting to see the strollers. You guys ever see those strollers with people with their dogs in the strollers?
Oh, I've never seen with dogs before. I was going to say, yeah, I've had my fair share of strollers in the past, but with dogs.
It's fun. Yeah, I love it because the dogs, like, when you approach the stroller, they look at you like, leave me alone, you know. And they should be, they need exercise. They should be out there walking. Anyway, but we love our pets. I have a couple as well, so we have fun with them. All right. Let's talk about last night. Now, both of you, we're fortunate because both of you were here. Both of you last night were at the Arcadia Mesquite game. So many stories off the field surrounding this game because this was a game that was circled. They won't say this, but I know, and you know, Ella, you're a student at Arcadia. Yeah. This game was circled. Connor, you call these games every week for Arcadia. This game was circled on their schedule because of the implications off the field. You had Coach Vance Miller, who was the head coach at Arcadia a couple of years ago. Now he's at Mesquite building a program there. You had, Coach Ray Brown, who's an assistant at the time under Miller, and Arcadia coming in at 6-0, and Mesquite, trying to build their program. What was the feeling? First half, they were down 17-7. Ella, what was the feeling in that first half? And then when did you notice a change in the mood?
You know, being at the sidelines, I mean, before and during the game, this is an emotional team. They were talking before about how emotional it was having their freshman year coach on the opposing team. Yeah. And there's definitely lots of, bickering between the teams. You could tell that they were upset. Braylon was upset that, the throws weren't quite landing, and they definitely, with this undefeated season, being down at the half was definitely like a wake-up call. And you could definitely tell after the halftime that they had woken up and wanted to get their momentum going.
Yeah.
They're gold.
So in our final minute, Connor, when you noticed the team come out in the second half, and rather than talk about specific drives, when did the light turn on for these guys, for Arcadia, now that obviously they're 7-0, they won last night, but...
Well, the biggest, I think the turning point of the game was third down. Braylon Rooney did kind of like a fake pass, and he threw it across his body, and it was like Carter Pruitt had to make an amazing catch on third down. And I think at that point that really changed the tide of the game because that Arcadia offense really had that one spark they needed, and it was history from there. They scored 3 consecutive drives, and they kind of walked away with one there. But that's a really good team.
Okay, guys, when we come back, we'll be joined by Coach Doug Madosky, Maricopa Mustangs, HJCAC JUCO football. We'll be back after the break.
Interact with Bob Kemp's poll question on KDUS1060.com. That's KDUS1060.com. And while you're there, check out Bob Kemp's bottom line at KDUS1060.com.
Hi, this is pro sport fisherman Ryan Kirkpatrick of Benton, Kentucky, and you're listening to the home of youth, high school, college, and you, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game reports every single Friday night, wrapped up all in one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame.
When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Extra Point with local and national topics, betting lines, and banter. Weekdays 10 to noon on KDUS AM 1060, KDUS1060.com, and the KDUS 1060 app.
It's the JUCO Report on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. News and notes from the Hohokam Junior College Athletic Conference.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060. I'm Ella Walter-Sanchez here with Maricopa Mustangs assistant coach Steve Weiss. Coach, how are you this morning?
How are you? Thanks for having me on.
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, Coach, today you're heading over to play the Papago Pumas at 1 p.m. How are you feeling about that game today?
Well, we certainly think a lot about Papago and what they bring to the table. Well-coached team, very talented, a lot of good players all over the field, so we're expecting it to be a good game.
Great. And as a team, are you, by the season so far, are you where you expect your team to be in terms of performance?
Well, I mean, we always have room to grow. We know that there are things that we want to get better at consistently. We're coming off a bye week, so hopefully we've had an opportunity to start to correct some of those things, start moving in the direction that we want to be moving. With that said, we've gotten away with 2 victories so far this year, and we want to keep that trend moving, but we're always looking to get better.
Yeah, that's great. And are there any specific players that stand out to you this season?
Any specific Mustangs that stand out to us?
Yes.
Sure. Sophomore quarterback, Cody Lazenby, he's putting together a good year. We're impressed with what he's doing.
Coach, I got to interrupt. Coach, I got to interrupt you here. It's Vince. Regarding your quarterback, Cody, this is the Utah kid. First of all, how did you end up with him and his prospects of moving on? Because this is a big kid. He's got an arm, too.
Yeah, Cody is a great kid, and we're lucky to have him. Actually, recruited Cody by accident. I was recruiting an offensive lineman that played with him in high school, and I'm watching that offensive line tape, and I got to the point where I had to say, who is this kid throwing the ball? Because he is talented. And Cody and I got on the phone, and one thing led to another, and now he's out here leading the Mustangs, and we're happy to have him.
He definitely looks like an offensive lineman with his size. I saw him, in that first game against Arizona Christian. He tucked the ball on quite a few runs, and I just shuddered when he would dip his shoulder down as guys would come up and try to tackle him. So he's obviously going to end up somewhere. I got to imagine that he's on the radar of a few schools out there.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't expect that big frame to pull it down and move as well as he does. I mean, he's 6'4", 200 there, and he gets it done. And like you said, when he's ready to throw that thing, he can sling it. So we think the world of him, and we are excited for where his recruitment's going to take him.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Coach Stephen Weiss from the Maricopa Mustangs. Guys, head out to Dobson High School this afternoon, 1 o'clock, big game against the Papago Pumas. A real test. Every week's been a test for these guys, but the parity of this league is just incredible, and we're excited to be part of it. We'll be providing coverage, but it's a beautiful day. Head out to Dobson, see some amazing junior college football with some amazing young people and a lot of great stories that you're going to hear about these guys. These are future stars. So, Coach Weiss, thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you later on today.
Hey, we'll see you later, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks, man.
All right. So I got to tell you, and I know, Ella, this league is fairly new to you, but there are a lot of tomorrow's stars playing in this league. I mean, we're talking Division I, Division II, 1AA, FCS, NAIA. I mean, every level, every league, there's colleges coming in and pulling these kids out and having them attend their schools. So the opportunities that this league has provided, where it gives – especially guys from Arizona. Guys, if you're in Arizona and you're an athlete, you're a student athlete, and you're not sure about, even if you are sure that you want to continue playing football, give this league a look because they're coached by amazing mentors. Steve Weiss, one of the best guys that I know. Coach Doug Madosky, the dean of junior college coaches in the country. He is right here. And then you've got Coach William Strother. You've got other coaches in the league whose names escape me right now, but they know who they are, and they're all good friends of mine, so they're probably going to give me a hard time later. But 4 amazing teams right here in the Valley, taking care of these guys and pushing them on to other programs and teaching them life lessons along the way. So the upside to being a part of this league is incredible. We have some other amazing segments going on this morning by our incredible team. And we're going to start off. Connor, this is something you're reporting on. It's AIA football rankings. Aaron Nemiroff got a report. We've been seeing Taylor Swift everywhere in the NFL. She might as well own a team. So Aaron's got a nice little report about she and Travis Kelce. And then, of course, Jason Goldie reporting on sled hockey. Aaron, take it away.
The first AIA Open Division rankings were released this past Tuesday, with 6 of the 8 initial top 8 teams coming from the 6A conference. After speculation and predictions from various Arizona high school reporters over the last couple of weeks, the Centennial Coyotes came in number 1 in the first Open rankings of 2023. Led by longtime head coach Richard Taylor, the Coyotes are off to a red-hot 6-0 start and have beaten opponents by an average score of 36-6. This includes 4 shutouts, 3 of them which came in a row, and 4 in their first 5 games. The Coyotes' final stretch of the season is a daunting one, however, as they must take on 3 other top 8 Open Division ranked opponents in 4 weeks. The number 2 Chandler Wolves, the number 3 Liberty Lions, and the number 7 Pinnacle Pioneers, all of them on the road. Filling out the rest of the top 8 are number 4, Arizona Leadership Academy Queen Creek, at number 5, Basha, at number 6, Desert Mountain, and at number 8, Hamilton. Other top 8 matchups scheduled to occur are Basha traveling to meet Hamilton in a rematch from last year's thrilling game between the two. 5-0 Canyon del Oro is the first team out of the initial Open rankings. The Dorados are dominating the opponents set in front of them, but it's assumed that the committee just isn't impressed enough with their schedule. Just a few more weeks of action and many of the top 16 Open teams are set to play each other, so fasten your seatbelts because it is going to be a wild ride to December 2nd. From Varsity Sports, I'm Connor Manning.
Hey everyone, this is Aaron Nemiroff reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. As I'm sure you all know, NFL star and future Hall of Famer Travis Kelce has recently struck up a relationship with pop star Taylor Swift. Rumors about the two starting a relationship have been going on for a while now. It started with Kelce attending one of Swift's concerts at Arrowhead Stadium back in July. Things started to really ramp up when Travis and his brother, Jason Kelce, star center for the Eagles, talked about Swift on their podcast. Their love story really became official when Swift attended Kelce's game against the Bears 2 weeks ago. Swift was seen in a suite hanging out with other celebrities and Kelce's mom, Donna Kelce. After the game, the couple left together, and it completely blew up Twitter. Last weekend, it was announced at the start of the week, Taylor Swift would again be attending Kelce's next game against the Jets in New Jersey. The NFL posted about Swift's plans to go to the game, which caused some bad blood between NFL fans and the league. Many fans took to social media to express their displeasure with Swift getting more attention from the league than many players do. It only got worse when Swift was shown 12 times during the Chiefs-Jets game compared to Aaron Rodgers being shown 9 times. The Chiefs also ended up winning the game due to the help of some very questionable calls from officials. Following the game, the NFL added to their bio on Twitter, the Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties. This again ruffled some feathers for NFL fans who took this as a clear bias being shown. Kelce addressed the frustration, saying he agreed that the coverage has gone too far. The NFL responded by saying that Taylor Swift content is a great way to bring fans of entertainment to the NFL. It seems like football fans are going to have to shake it off and try their best to ignore it. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Aaron Nemiroff.
I'm Jason Goldie from the Varsity Sports Show. Sled hockey, also called sledge hockey or para-ice hockey, has been a sport in the Paralympic Winter Games since 1994 in Lillehammer. In 2002, the U.S. sled hockey team won its first gold medal. The U.S. has since gone on to win gold medals at all of the last 4 Winter Games. Recreationally, sled hockey can be played by both disabled and able-bodied players. On the international level, only athletes with a disability in the lower part of their body can be classified by the International Paralympic Committee to participate. There are really only a few differences between sled and regular hockey. There is no backward skating, but other than that, it is full contact and full speed. There is also no T-boning, which is when one sled comes into contact with the side of another and forms a T. Other than that, most of the rules are the same as regular hockey. The equipment is different. Players sit in specially designed sleds that sit on top of 2 hockey skate blades. There are 2 hockey sticks for each player, not 1, and the sticks have metal picks or spikes on the handle end, used to propel the player forward. The sticks are also used to shoot and pass. The goalie's sticks have spikes on both ends to help the goalie move quickly around the ice goal to defend the goal. The goalie gloves also have spikes glued to the outside for the same reason. Paralympic ice hockey is one of the few Winter Olympic sports that is co-ed or mixed. If you're looking to cool off, come check out Phoenix's very own sled hockey team. The Arizona Coyotes sled hockey team opens its season this weekend, and they play today at 12:25 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. at the Scottsdale Ice Den against the New Mexico Blade Runners. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Jason Goldie.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KTUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's going on, guys? My name is Tortorella. I'm a senior at ASU at the Cronkite School. I'm super excited to be part of Varsity Sports, bringing you all the knowledge that I've learned over the years, covering baseball, softball, football, any sport you can think of, and I'm excited to bring that knowledge to you, the listener.
Thank you so much, Tanner.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
And we're back here on the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060. I'm Connor Manning along with Vince and Ella. Joining us now all the way from Las Vegas is Bishop Gorman head coach Brett Browner. Coach Browner, thanks for calling in this morning.
No problem. Good to be here.
Last night, an impressive 42-17 win over Shadow Ridge.
48.
Oh, 48. Sorry, I apologize. That 48-17 win over Shadow Ridge. But it was a close one at half, only 7-3. What can you say about the Shadow Ridge defense?
Well, I think we just kind of stalled the ball there for the first half when you just run off a minute every play. So it wasn't really the defense, I think. It was just offense keeping the ball, waiting until the very last second to hike the ball every time, and us not getting out on third down on our defense.
So after that, after the half, you guys were able to really kind of burst that game open. Who were some of the big players in your eyes? What were some of the big plays that were made to kind of help that team, help your team?
Mike Alejado, obviously quarterback, did a really good job. Obviously, offense scored usually in about one play every time they got the ball. So they didn't run a ton of plays, but I think the production per play was pretty good. I think Derek Meadows had a really, really good game for 103 with one touchdown. Audric Harris, I think he had 3 touchdowns for 150. So obviously offense was pretty much scoring in about one play or 2 plays, and obviously they just kind of sat on the ball and held it on their offense. So we just play a little bit better, more stout defense, and we'll be fine.
How important is it for your team to kind of go through that experience of a game like that where you know that the other team is going to hold on to the ball and you're not going to have a whole lot of chances on offense to really be efficient and really get into the end zone?
I think it's been a common theme all year. A lot of people are just waiting for the back judge to raise the hand and, trying to run just trying to get it, keep the ball away from the offense. So the guys have kind of been used to it. Obviously, everybody gets antsy, with that kind of style of play of football. But, they're used to it. They know, what's going on. So they just, stay focused. And, when they get out there, I think they execute at a pretty high level. So we're confident when they get the ball, it'll be pretty good.
Coach, you guys are sitting at number 2 ranked nationally according to Max Preps. You guys are a very good squad sitting at 8-0. What are some of the things that you guys try and do every day to try and block out that noise, try and just keep the focus on the field and make sure you guys are always ready to compete every Friday?
Even from the beginning, we just said it doesn't matter what you're ranked until the very last ranking. So it doesn't, all the rankings, all that stuff, and it sounds good, it's nice, but it doesn't really matter until the very last ones are in, and that's all we're worried about.
Hey, Coach, Vince here. Thanks so much for allowing us the opportunity to cover you guys. And obviously you don't pay attention to the outside noise. You focus on your team. But being able to maintain that high level of performance week in and week out, and blocking out all that noise. What are some teachable moments from week to week that are specific? Because, you could be 8-0, 10-0, 11-0, whatever, but there's always going to be things that you can continue to reinforce. What are some of those things that you reinforce week to week?
Like even today where guys are back here, I actually started working out already. And it's just, hard work and discipline. Biggest things that we talk about every single day. Hard work and discipline will take you pretty much as far as you can go. Some of this stuff is discipline stuff on, from last game to discipline stuff on defense. You run triple option, you got to be really, ultra disciplined on everybody's phase of the ball. And, any kind of little mess up's going to give them 3 to 4 yards. Well, 3 to 4 yards every play, that's going to get them a first down. So being more disciplined, I think this week is what we're going to talk about, executing at a higher level on defense, and then offensively making sure that we continue to protect the ball, make sure that we continue to score like we are.
Coach, back on the road next week against Desert Pines. You talk about wanting to just execute more, clean up the little things. What are some of the biggest things that you want to see specifically against Desert Pines next week? I just want to see, obviously, good football. We always talk about playing good football, doing the right thing at the right time, whether it be offense, defense, or play calls, getting out of bounds, getting first downs, things like that. Protecting the ball and taking the ball away. So those are the things that we're going to really work on this week, and that's all we're going to focus on.
Bishop Gorman, head football coach Brett Browner here on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Coach Browner, congratulations on another win last night. Got a couple more games this season, focusing on Desert Pines. Good luck to you, and looking forward to covering you again.
Thank you, and go Gale.
All right. So quite a, I got my hat's off to our crew out in Las Vegas. Ray Fletcher did an amazing job. Barry, our technical director, the rest of the crew, production team, and really delivered a great broadcast last night. And, we got this idea to do a Las Vegas game of the week because it's literally the closest big city to Phoenix. Outside of San Diego, it's closer than San Diego. And so many of our residents go there for a weekend. They want to know what's going on, what there is to do. You got to give high school football a look. And when you have one of the top high school football teams in the country, just a stone's throw. And we've got some really, really top-notch teams here, obviously. But, another team that's consistently year in and year out, Bishop Gorman, they're number 2 in the country right now. You gotta look at. I mean, my gosh, Snoop Dogg's son went there, so you've got a top performing team. So we got to cover these guys, and it makes our world a little bit smaller when you get a chance to bring a different perspective. And there's a lot of commonalities as well between things they do in Vegas as well as here in Arizona. So very interesting. Nice job, Connor, on running that interview, and thanks again, Coach Browner and our team out in Vegas. So we're going to continue with our coverage, as you know. The Varsity Sports Show we cover the Thursday night high school flag football game of the week. It's brand new. Flag football is new this season. They did a little bit of it in the spring, but they went full force, the AIA, this fall, and we've been lockstep with the AIA in covering and bringing you this game every single week on Thursdays. We've got a few more weeks of coverage left. It's gotten a great response. We appreciate all the schools that have been participating and allowing us coverage in covering your teams. And Thursday, incredible game. It was out at Perry High School. It was between Perry and Castile. Coach Ray Black joined me for an interview just yesterday. In fact, we got a chance to talk to her and get her perspective. Big win, and they've had 2 in a row now. 2 wins in a row for the Castile Colts. Congratulations, Coach Black. And Aaron, let's go ahead and run that.
You are listening to
the Varsity Sports Show.
The Varsity Sports Show. Thursday night
flag football game of the week recap.
Flag football game of the week recap.
Okay, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. Vince DeLisio here, joined by Castile flag football head coach Ray Black. This week on the Varsity Sports Show Thursday night flag football game of the week, it was Castile heading over to Perry, and taking an early lead was Castile, going in at halftime 10-0, adding a couple of insurance touchdowns in the second half, and then coasting to victory. Coach, welcome to the show, and congratulations on the win. You guys are on a bit of a run now, last 2 weeks victories.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we had, we've been riding the wave this year. My team is pretty new, only 8 returners with 20 new girls, and our district decided to make it uncut. So everyone has like a pretty big team right now, and we're just kind of managing that. So it was a matter of learning, language and route running and stuff like that. So they're figuring it out now.
Flag football is something that has been around at playing it at recess for years and years and years. And now, the last couple of years, it's become a real serious sport, not only on the men's side, but obviously on the women's side. And biggest difference is, to me, it's a much faster game. What are you noticing with the athletes that you're bringing out there?
The athletes I have, they're very athletic. I have a lot of basketball girls, track girls that didn't have opportunity to try before they're out. And then we always had the soccer girl. We pretty much had the soccer girls, basketball girls. I do miss the cheerleaders coming out. We had a lot of cheerleaders when we first jumped it off. So because they're so busy with football, they weren't able to play and come out this year. So it's just a difference of the athletes that have come out. And some come out with some knowledge, but not really. Like, we don't grow up playing it in the front yard and stuff like the boys do. We don't have Pop Warner. We don't have any of that. So, you're a junior or a sophomore girl, and you're just learning the concept of football just in general, like your spacing, how to line up. What is a line of scrimmage? Where's the first down? Like stuff like that, almost like a 10U team. Like a 10U tackle where you kind of just baby stepping them. It's pretty much like that. And this is my second time doing that. Like when we had a team like that when we first started, Coach Beeman and I, when we started our Castile team and we did it just as a district, it was the same thing, but it's just on a much smaller level. So it was just our 6 schools. So it kind of didn't matter. We just played each other all the time. Like we played Hamilton 3 times. 4th time was in the championship. So we played at a smaller level where now it's such a big level. Like the girls, you could tell that they've been practicing at all the other schools and in the other districts. You could tell that they're getting together and they're practicing and they're learning and they're watching film and they're practicing on their own and, watching it on Sunday. And you could tell because it shows in the elevation of their game. So same thing, larger scale.
So again, 2 wins in a row now. You've got 2 games left in the regular season. You've got a bit of a break from this past Thursday, and your next game scheduled is October 17th. You're hosting Mountain Ridge, and then you'll close out with Hamilton on the 19th, and then into the offseason. So Coach Ray Black, Castile Colts, this week's Thursday night high school game of the week this past week, victory over Perry, 24-0. Coach, congratulations. Thanks for allowing us to cover you, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for covering it. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vince, Ella, and Connor out at the Phoenix Zoo, and we got a bunch of swans and pelicans looking at us right now, and it looks like they're licking their chops, especially glancing over my direction. They're kind of creepy to me. I don't know. They're these big, majestic birds, but they seem kind of creepy. I don't know. Like they're angry. Do they look at, what do you think, Connor? Are they,
Yeah, they're kind of just chilling there. Not really. Yeah. They kind of got that one guy at the top has got a little bit of a mean glare, but.
Yeah. Anyway. Ella, is there any animal that kind of creeps you out?
Any animal that kind of creeps me out. I do not like insects, so I don't. Those creep me out. Insects and lizards.
The insects and lizards. Okay. All right. Well, guys, so here we are rolling through the show. When we come back from the break, we're going to be joined by Desert Mountain Wolves head football coach Conrad Hamilton. Big win last night. And then Camelback coach Brandon McNutt. Ella, you're going to be bringing us Coach McNutt. So, guys, stick around. Thanks again for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060. Go Varsity.
Every Monday night, check out Ray Adams as he hosts the Monday Night Golf and Lifestyle Show from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
This is Conrad Hamilton, head football coach at Desert Mountain High School. You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Check out KDUS AM 1060 on 100.7 KSLX HD2. That's right, HD radio on 100.7 channel number 2.
Nobody pray for me. It been a day for me.
Welcome to the Wolves Recap with Desert Mountain football coach Conrad Hamilton.
Welcome back here to the Varsity Sports Show. I'm Connor Manning along with Vince and Ella, and we've got Desert Mountain head coach Conrad Hamilton. Coach Hamilton, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Coach, big win last night. Vince here. Big win last night against Cactus Shadows. You started off rolling right away with your defense. You had that pick six early. Let's talk about the mentality of the team coming into this game. I know you faced some big opponents. Cactus Shadows has been one that can sneak up and bite you, but they were still coming in, not necessarily as strong as some of the others that you faced. How did you get your guys up for this game?
Well, number one, every game we just want to go out and improve from last week's performance, correct some of the things that we didn't do well, and just continue to get better each and every week. We're not really looking at the opponent and, their records and things. We just want to go out and play our game and get better every week and, try to get a W on the board. We knew that Cactus Shadows was a trap game for us, right? We had a knockdown drag out with Horizon the week before. We were missing 6 starters coming into this game, and they have a very talented and elite explosive player at quarterback that could keep them in the game. Sometimes playing on the road too can be a challenge with calls and stuff like that. So, I think our guys were kind of focused, and I think, we did what we needed to do to get the victory.
You've got probably, arguably, the top receivers from a group, as well as one or two that are pretty darn good in their own right in the state of Arizona, and you continue to surprise because there's elements of your offense that we still don't know how good you are. And from your running game, from your quarterback being very mobile last night, it seemed like he was, and then you've got a kid named Santana Wilson that somehow fits into the equation. How do you do you just draw names out of a hat and say, okay, this week it's going to be you. You're going to be getting it this week. How do you distribute it? It's only one football, Coach. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, Max Sheffrin was hurt, so he wasn't playing in this particular game. So we knew Santana had to be involved a little bit more in the offense. We want to get Santana more involved with the touching the football in every aspect, whether it's kickoff, return, or offensively. But we know how valuable he is to us defensively. So, getting him hurt, playing offense would be catastrophic to our defense. But we know that he brings explosive plays to the table every time he touches it. So, from now until, the end of this season, the conclusion of our year, Santana will continue to get more touches and more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. And then, there's other guys. Cameron Terry played well offensively. And, Journey Solomon, a kid who transferred into us from Las Vegas, whatever, is one of our better performers week in and week out here this season, catching the football, blocking on the perimeter, and just giving, high effort. So there's some guys. And then up front, Colton Muntz. I know we're getting too many penalties still in the run game and things like that, but if I pop on the field, number 75 is playing hard and he's playing aggressive football to the whistle, and that's what we like. So, yeah.
And again, you're one that you try not to you don't like to praise your guys a lot. You do, but there's it's true, because there's a lot of teachable moments in this game, because you're the first to acknowledge, doesn't matter how good you are, you still got to get better. And in terms of game planning for last night's game, you were game planning against a special sophomore quarterback by the name of Donovan Dixon, number 5. He was running all over the field last night, and so how did you game plan for him?
Well, number one, our strength of our football team right now is specifically defense, but we didn't have Big Tony Cumberland inside again this week. So our strength is our secondary. Elijah Mears is playing at a really high level. He had a pick 6. He plays opposite of Santana Wilson, who's the lockdown guy on the opposite side of the ball, who plays press coverage all the time. So we know Elijah knows he's going to get a lot of balls, but he plays aggressively. All right, does a good job. Our coach, our secondary coaches, Arabin Justin, I think, is one of the best coaches in the state, coaching the defensive backs. Jordan Hamilton, my son, helps and assists with that, so they can have those guys rolling. Then in the secondary, Dylan Tapley's a 2-time All-State player, but the guy opposite of him is probably our best performer on defense in the run game and in the pass game, and just intellectual is Elijah Banquet. He's a 2-year starter. He's only a junior. We just want to, try to keep him in front of us. He's tough to tackle. We had to run to the football. Our coaches did a good job of trying to spread him out in empty formations and things like that to get him to be able to have a run-pass option if it wasn't there. Because most of the time, guys aren't going to be open on our defense, so it's a challenge to kind of tackle a guy that's pretty mobile and running, both in the passing game, scrambling back there, having to plaster receivers still, and still be able to tackle him in space. And then, with the run game, quarterback draw, quarterback, ISO, quarterback counter, and all that stuff, whatever. He's pretty elusive even when we fit the gaps correctly. So that was a challenge. They did get one touchdown on us, and he made 4 guys miss to get in the end zone there. Talented kid. Let me tell you, if he gets a little taller, Pops is doing good stuff with him, because I think he's a special talent.
I look at your schedule, and it definitely does not get any easier. Now, the nice thing about it is that you got a chance to kind of heal up a little bit, because you're notorious for playing. I wish it would be interesting if every coach did this, but you are notorious for playing the best 11 on your team, which means you got a lot of guys going both ways. So I think, your team is probably gonna even though you're not obviously going to take a break from practicing, you're still going to practice, but having a bye week before you face the defending 4A champion in Gilbert North, who now plays 5A, then you got the defending 5A champion in Higley, and then you close the regular season out at Notre Dame Prep. What's the mindset? What's the strategy going in, starting with Gilbert North?
No, correct. So we looked at it. We told the kids we dangled this carrot this week. We thought about it, and we had our bye week schedule planned out. We were supposed to come in, watch the film on Wednesday of this game, give the kids the whole weekend and the first 2 days of the week off, because we're not in school as well. But then we dangled a carrot and said, hey, guys, you know what? We win this game. We perform to where we need to. We're going to go ahead. We're going to give you guys the week off. We'll have some voluntary workouts, open the weight room on Thursday and Friday next week. But we just decided, almost 3 years running now, what are we, 30 wins, 4 losses, 4 of those by 11 points. We run a pretty tough schedule with these guys. We demand a lot of them. And so, you know what, we're going to want to reward those guys to take a break with their families, try to get us healthy for this stretch run, and hopefully we'll come back healthier, have a focus to accomplish really the last 2 goals that we have. The next one would be the section championship. We got to go through the 4A state champion, the 5A state champion, and then, of course, our nemesis last year in triple overtime, Notre Dame, to finish the year off. So we know we have our hands full. So hopefully these guys will come back hungry after a week of putting their feet up a little bit and trying to lick their wounds, so we can come back and have ourselves fully loaded as much as possible. And that's the hope, right? Because normally when you have a bye week and you also don't have school, our practices aren't very good anyway. So to have guys dragged over there to be disengaged we just felt like, all right, give them a break that they need, and then we'll come back ready to roll with our plan. All right, the following week we're back in school and get ready for Gilbert North.
Joined on the line by Desert Mountain head football coach Conrad Hamilton. Coach Hamilton, you're about the most honest guy I know in terms of, you're not going to sugarcoat anything. So I'm going to ask you point blank. You guys are number 5 in the Open. Do you like where you're at? And if the season ended today and that's where you went, can you guys run the table?
Can we run the table? And
Nobody listens to our show, Coach. So you can be as honest as you want.
Yeah,
nobody listens to the
I said it last week. I think I talked with Obert. There's some 5A teams we can compete with guys. You know what I mean? And like the Boise State, right? Boise State can prepare for a month and beat Georgia or Oklahoma in a bowl game. But if Boise State was put into a 18 playoff with Alabama, Georgia, they may scare the first team or knock them off, but they have no shot to beat, all right, those gauntlet of teams 3 times in a row. And then where we're at right now with the depth that we have, right, and then the quality opponents that we would be playing, and, talking about Bash, the Hamilton, teams that have 200-plus kids in their program, whatever, guys that don't have to go both ways, and then also talent-wise, whatever. I just think that's a daunting task for a 5A team. And I'm not just talking about our team, because, look, we played Horizon last week that has a 6A offensive line. We got 6 guys out that didn't even play this week.
Yeah.
So what do you think would happen if we're playing and we're chasing also 6A premier athletes from that standpoint? We may have more skill guys out just because of the high octane that they're doing, trying to chase guys around. Again, one game setting, yes. 3 games in a row, there's no shot. So absolutely zero, in my opinion. I haven't seen Desert Edge play, so I don't know how good they are. But you just look at the scores. The scores will tell you, can 5A play with 6A? And I say no.
All right. Well, there you have it. The words of the great Desert Mountain head football coach Conrad Hamilton, one of the most honest guys I know in this profession. So, Coach, thanks again for talking to us every week, allowing us coverage. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your team. Take a nice break.
Yep, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
All right. Okay, so, yeah, interesting, to get these perspectives week to week from all these coaches, guys, Ella, Connor, I mean, you're hearing these guys. There's common themes here. These guys are focusing game by game, day by day, and some have goals that are a little loftier than the others. This is a guy who's, they're 7-0 right now, and they have half their team, half their starters go both ways out of necessity because their depth is not that immense, but at the same time, those players are pretty darn good too. So when you watch a team like Desert Mountain perform at a high level and with individual performances within and have a head coach that that's as demanding as Conrad Hamilton is, I mean it's incredible. So it's good to see, and we're again we're excited to be able to bring that perspective from week to week. So. So when we come back from the break, Ella, what do we have coming up?
Coming up after the break, we're going to be talking to Saguaro coach Zach Hill. They had a great win last night versus district rivalry Chaparral.
Yeah.
And we'll get to see about that. And they have a bye week next week, so we'll see how they're going to improve.
And then after Coach Hill, we got another team. Who's up after that?
After Coach Zach Hill, we also have Corona del Sol coach Jake Barrow as well.
Okay. So, guys, stick around. Here on the Varsity Sports Show, final half hour, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Go Varsity.
HD Radio is here for KDUS AM 1060. Check out your favorite shows and games on 100.7 KSLX HD2.
Hi, this is Mike from Beachin' with Beal, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe,
With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third-generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
This is Saguaro Sabercat football coach Zach Hill, and you're listening to the home of Sabercat football, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
Ready to bring KDUS AM 1060 into your home with Alexa?
Hi, I'm Alexa.
Download the KDUS AM 1060 skill and enable. Then say, Alexa, open KDUS AM 1060.
This is where I start my day.
You're listening to the Sabercat Report with our dad, Coach Zach Hill, on the Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060. I'm Ella Walter-Sanchez here with Connor and Vince, and we're joined with Saguaro football coach Zach Hill. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. It's always better after a win.
Yes, obviously. So overall, you're doing 4-3, tough schedule, but you had a great district rivalry last night against Chaparral, and obviously your squad won and came up on top 38-28. What was the key to that win last night?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about going into this game because we knew we had some injuries, and you know, it was all going to be about physicality. And if we could run the football and kind of establish a run game and getting things going there, I thought our O-line and D-line and the guys up front, you know, handling the line of scrimmage, I mean, that's where it's at. You know, and I think our running backs, you know, we had 3 running backs kind of throwing the ball last night. And, I thought they did a great job of being physical and breaking tackles and blocking on the edge. And, you know, really it came down to it. Was going to be the most physical, and I felt like we did that.
Yeah, and your next matchup after you have a bye week coming up, and your next matchup is versus Liberty, who is 5-1. And what are you thinking during this bye week to be able to get that win and go 5-3?
Well, I think it's a good week to kind of rest and recover a little bit. You know, I talked to our guys after the game just about, hey, let's get away from football a little bit. We're going to take a couple days to recharge, recover, and then hopefully come back ready to roll, you know, next Wednesday, Friday with practice, and then jump into that Liberty week and gear up for a tough football game. That's a good football team.
Coach, Vince here. Congrats on the big win last night. Biggest rival on your schedule. Now you can move past that one and you know, turn your sights ahead. In terms of a mid-season, we're a little past mid-season, but we'll call it mid-season evaluation of your team. What do you feel like you're doing really well right now? And what are some things that you still, you know, some teachable moments, some things you still need to kind of work on to get just that much better?
Yeah, sure. I think we're kind of figuring out who we are, you know, a little bit more each week, you know, relying on different guys each week offensively, you know, because, you know, either who's healthy and who's not. But I think we're kind of seeing who our playmakers are and who can be physical, who can block on the edge. You know, and then defensively, I think we're kind of seeing the same thing. You know, who can make tackles, who's going to be in the right place at the right time, and you know, listening to our coaches and hopefully doing their assignments and jobs. You know, and so trying to put it together and obviously build depth as we do this as well. You know, through practices and getting different guys in games. You know, but really, when it comes down to this part of the season, it's putting it all together and who can operate at a high level. And you know, we hope to be jumping into this late part of the season full throttle and getting after it. Hopefully, get a few guys back here in the process.
Last night was especially special for your team and for the Saguaro community because it was the annual commemoration game in honor of a former staff member Tug Garcia. And I know that you weren't around at the time that the program and the family, the Saguaro family, lost Tug. But what did it mean being a part of that? And obviously, the award to honor Tug was presented to someone that had such a strong presence in the program for many years. And Coach Jason Mons came back and accepted it and was wearing his green just like everybody else, as well as the players. So what did that mean to you to be part of that?
Yeah, I mean, really, really cool night. Obviously, a lot that goes into that from a history and tradition, standpoint of Saguaro with Tug Green and all that he meant to Saguaro football and all the kids and people around that football family and the school. And so being able to be with some of their family and seeing Jason getting that award and seeing him at the game was awesome. I mean, him and I have a great relationship, and I have a ton of respect for Jason Mons and everything he's done here at Saguaro and everything he's going to do in the future wherever he's at. And so, yeah, it was a great night. Obviously, our guys were excited to see Coach Mons again too, and on the field, we had a good crowd, and it was good energy last night.
Well, I know that the respect and admiration is mutual from him, so he has obviously talked you up quite a bit as well, and so it's nice to see that there's that type of relationship between the two of you, and in your first year here with the Saguaro program, you gotta feel pretty good where you're at right now because you're learning a lot about this team, they're learning a lot about you, and things are back on track. To obviously be in the best position you can be, you got to win out. And looking at your schedule, it's not going to be a small task. So we wish you all the luck in the world, and we look forward to continuing to cover you and the community and work with you. And Coach, we'll look forward to talking to you next week after the bye.
Awesome, thanks, Vince. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Zach Hill, Saguaro Sabercats with the Sabercat Report. And we're going to turn our attention now. And actually, Ella, who do you want to introduce that's joining us now?
So joining us now, we have Corona del Sol football coach Jake Barrow. Coach, how are you this morning?
Hi, thank you for having me on.
So last night's game was unfortunately a tough loss in Tucson to South Point Catholic, 20-29. How do you think your squad can improve after that game to come up on top against Mountain Point next week?
Well, last night was a really tough one for us. I thought the kids battled really hard. They played hard. First half, we were really sharp, very, very disciplined, played a really, really good, solid football game in the first half. Second half, we had some injuries that really hurt us. 3 of our offensive linemen went down, and Raiden Vinesbright, our wide receiver, he got hurt in the first half, and so our depth right now is kind of becoming an issue. So honestly, what would help us improve for next week is just kind of trying to get healthy and making sure everybody's where they need to be as far as just ready to perform.
Coach Connor Manning here. Although you guys did have that tough loss last night, you guys are still in the thick of it to try and get into that 6A playoff race. You got a couple of other teams on your schedule on top of Mountain Point that still are in that race as well. What are some of the things that you are going to keep telling your players to let them know like they're still in the thick of it despite, the direction that the season has been going so far?
Yeah, I mean, we've played a really tough. We've played the toughest schedule so far in Arizona. We've lost to number 1, number 2, number 6, and then last South Point number 8. So it's there's been some tough losses. They've all been pretty tough losses. So we're still definitely in the playoff hunt with our strength of schedule, but we got to win some games down the stretch. So just keeping the players focused, letting them know. You're still in a good position. We're still in this thing, but, we got to come out with some wins here.
Coach, Vince here. I know, obviously your final season at Casa Grande, you were 14-0, Arizona Cardinals Coach of the Year, every major accolade, award, state championship. When you took this job, did they tell you that this was going to be the schedule?
No, and nobody really knows going in. It's just this year we kind of got surprised with it. That's for sure.
I gotta imagine that someone, they didn't pull you aside and say, "Hey, Jake, you're going to be facing, Centennial, Pinnacle, Chandler, and that's just the first 3 weeks of the season. Oh, and the team that you just came away from, But that is incredible. It is the toughest schedule in the state. It has to be. I don't know of any other. And to still be in the thick of it with all that your team has had to endure, and that's not an excuse for anything, obviously, because you demand excellence, the community does, and it's nice to be in a position where winning is a culture and they're used to it, because then it means that they accept nothing less. So this has to be, to say the word frustrating is mild, but I know that the team and the families that I know out at Corona have, are really pushing and striving and want to make sure that you're surrounded with the absolute best resources that you can have. And you've got some pretty darn good players there. So I look at this schedule, and you've got 2 of your Tempe rivals that you still have to face. And those guys, want to get wins and to prepare. We asked this question of a lot of coaches, and what are some things that you're in particular going to focus on this week in preparing for Mountain Point?
Yeah. I mean, Mountain Point's a really good team. They've got some big-time players. They run the ball really well. Their defense is stout. They're able to control the line of scrimmage up front, and they do a really, really good job. They're well coached. So we're just going to kind of preach. We got to be disciplined. We played a very good first half against South Point. We had no penalties in the first half. Defense played really, really well. So we need more of that. We got to put it together. Not just one good half. We got to have a full game of being disciplined and playing good, solid, attention to detail, fundamental football. So that's really what we're going to push this week. Get back to basics a little bit, and I feel like if we can really do that, we'll have a good shot against Mountain Point on Friday if we're healthy, and that's a big question mark at this point.
You like to mix things up from what I've seen at practice and the few practices I've had a chance to attend, and you throw some things out there that are pretty cool. You like to play some music once in a while, and you even threaten to play certain bands if the team isn't performing well, just to kind of motivate them. Coach, you got to try Rick Astley. I think that'll get you some mileage. You got to Rickroll your team. What do you think?
Yeah, that may be something we have to pull out on Monday.
Okay. Coach Jake Barrow, Corona del Sol Aztecs, quite a season so far, and you got a chance to get things back on track. You've definitely got the supporting cast out there, so we're hoping for the best, that things will play out. Coach, looking forward to covering you, and good luck.
Thank you, Vince. I appreciate it.
All right. Wow. So it's always good. I got to tell you, coaches, it's real easy to not participate in this thing from week to week when you're not having a good week. It is so easy. It happens every week. You're justified, but to stare it in the face week in and week out, win or lose, it takes a big person to do that, and a lot of respect goes out to Coach Barrow, because it has been a season they've taken their lumps, and they keep coming back, and they've got a great team and a lot of supportive families out there. You got to win. I mean, that's the name of the game. That's what it's all about. But it's also about the marathon and supporting your team and overcoming odds and mentoring these guys. So great program. When we come back after the break, we've got some reports, and our team is going to continue their reporting. We got Zach Mott, one of our broadcast team members, that'll give us a Cardinals update, and then, of course, Dorian Zavala with an L.A. Rams report, and then we're going to close out the show and turn it over to JR's Texas Tales. When we come back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show, final segment coming right up. We'll be back. Go Varsity.
Need social information about KDUS AM 1060? Try KDUS1060.com, at KDUS AM 1060 on Twitter, and Facebook.com/KDUS AM 1060.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bennett Solomon, and I'm a senior journalism student at the University of Florida. I'm thrilled to be joining the Varsity Sports Show, and I'll be providing local sports coverage in Florida. You can find me on Twitter at B_Solly11, and I can't wait to get started.
The hottest show covering Arizona high school football, Varsity Live. Do you want to hear from players of the week and our own analysts covering all of varsity sports games? We bring you pre-game previews and post-game reports every single Friday night, wrapped up all in one show called Varsity Live. Tune in at Varsity Sports Show on YouTube, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. MST for pregame and 10 p.m. MST for postgame.
Hey, this is Ralph Farrell, Carefree's #1 sports enthusiast, and want to tell you about a new radio show that's really hitting the spot. The Varsity Sports Show, which takes care of everything from high school, junior high school, college, community college sports. You got to listen to it. It's on 1060 AM, Arizona. No? Yes?
Your caddy, Ray Adams, takes you beyond the 18th hole on Saturday mornings with Great American Golf from 6 to 7 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Zach Mott, and this week we'll dive into some important Cardinals news ahead of their Week 5 matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals. First and foremost, the Cardinals are getting a huge piece of their defensive puzzle back soon, as their third-round draft choice cornerback Garrett Williams from Syracuse is back at practice this week. While his status for Sunday's game is up in the air, he will be good to go in the coming weeks and has a path to starting by working at safety and nickel corner, with the two outside spots locked up by Marco Wilson and Kytrell Clark. The trade rumors in the NFL are beginning to swirl, and Marquise Brown's name has been linked to the Carolina Panthers, who are aggressively seeking a wide receiver 1 for rookie quarterback Bryce Young. Brown, who was acquired by the Cardinals along with a third-round pick for the Cardinals' first-rounder in last year's draft, has produced 948 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns in 16 games since the trade with the Ravens. With the Cardinals' young duo in Rondale Moore and Michael Wilson stepping up recently, as well as the catching prowess of veteran tight end Zach Ertz, the Cardinals may believe Brown to be expendable if the right package were offered. Lastly, the Cardinals face a team with the same record as them on Sunday and the Bengals, who limp into this matchup at 1-3. Earlier this week, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow said that this game was a must-win for them at this juncture in the season. With Burrow only completing 57.6% of his passes, it'll be on him to change the tide of the Bengals season. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Zach Mott.
The Los Angeles Rams head into Week 5, looking to build on the victory from last week after beating the Colts 29-23. After opening the game with 4 consecutive scoring drives, the Rams saw their 23-point lead evaporate in the second half. To make things worse, Matthew Stafford got injured when he took a hit to the hip. 35-year-old veteran stumbled and limped his way through the fourth, keeping the team afloat as the game was tied 23-23. A gritty but hobbled Stafford drove the Rams down the field in overtime, hitting rookie Puka Nacua with a 22-yard touchdown for the walk-off win. The question of Matthew Stafford's health isn't the only problem going into Week 5. The bigger problem is the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles and that talented defensive front. The Eagles come in 4-0, and although some say they haven't looked as dominant as last year, they are still the defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles, who come in undefeated. Nevertheless, the Rams have a huge task at hand as they have to deal with dual-threat quarterback Jalen Hurts and that potent Philly offense as well. The Rams have also said that Cooper Kupp is now on a 21-day work schedule with the hopes of getting him ready for Week 7, although some of his teammates have come out and said that he may surprise some people and play this weekend. Although they may be joking around, pushing Kupp early onto the field may be concerning as he might not be game ready since his last snap was Week 10 of the 2022 season. Will the Rams defense hold up against the powerful Philly offense? And will Matthew Stafford's hip hold up against the powerful Philly defense? My guess is if you have Aaron Donald on your team, you always have a chance. As they say, it can happen on any given Sunday. For Varsity Sports, I'm Dorian Zavala.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince, Ella, and Connor, we are out at the Phoenix Zoo. Guys, people are here. There's a lot of people here. The flamingos are over there screaming at us, telling us to hurry up and get out of here. The staff has been great. We got the pelicans behind us still perched over there watching this little chubby Italian guy and me to see what my next move is going to be. But anyway, it's been an incredible show. We're already, in the final few minutes of our show. So what I want to do is this. Ella, I'm going to start with you. First of all, tell us about the experience so far this semester, some things that you've had a chance to work on, some things we can expect from you, and then maybe longer range goals. Go ahead.
So I think that this internship has been great. I've never been able to, besides like taking pictures for Arcadia football, I've never been able to cover football and be in it with not only Arcadia but all of the other schools. And I'm not the biggest football fan, so it's been nice to get to learn more about football and get, acclimated to the sport. But I think it's going to be great also with the playoffs coming up, getting to cover other things like hockey and volleyball. And I think we have some swim games in there too, which is so funny.
But the nice thing about it is that we're telling stories. That's the whole underlying theme, is that you don't have to be a sports fan, but you're a storyteller. And that's what we're doing here, because there's a lot of stories around, perseverance and overcoming odds and triumph and all of that we can tell underlying themes that people want to cut their teeth and sink their teeth into and enjoy hearing. And you're so good at that. Scottsdale Sports Report, you've taken that and run with it. It's been a lot of fun to hear some of your reports. What can we expect moving forward? Because you got another one coming next week.
Oh, yeah. Moving forward, I've been trying to get a little outside of SUSD and more into Scottsdale, and it's been fun. I really want to do more with fall ball coming up and the fall league. And I definitely think just expanding outside, I'm also trying to get in contact. We have some SUSD golfers that have success outside. They've graduated. And just trying to find connections in Scottsdale overall outside of high schools.
Connor, talking about your experience this fall, we were talking a little bit off mic. How's it been?
It's honestly been exactly what I wanted it to be. It's as a senior at ASU, there were some things as a major in sports journalism, there were some things I started to have some doubts about sports journalism and what I wanted to do. It just really wasn't getting that fun environment that I'd really wanted. And I kind of took this internship and I was like, this is kind of like my make or break. If I go through this experience and it's really not for me, then at least I know for a fact. But I wanted to give it one last chance, and it has completely proven. It has completely flipped the script. I've had such a blast being able to be engaged in these real life everyday things that you do as a journalist. Calling Arcadia every week has been fun. Getting to really know a team and getting to cover the same team kind of helps you build that storytelling that we talk about that we want to do. And being able to do the shows and talk with various coaches that you never know what you're going to get. And I think that's been a really helpful experience, just getting that getting that experience.
What I will say is this: the young people, the students that have gone through our internship, they'll know by the time they're done if they want to continue in this profession or not. And there have been some that don't, that they end up leaving journalism because of this experience. And not to say it's bad, but because of the fact that it is a grind. It's work. You guys are exhausted. When you're a college student, Friday and Saturday night is reserved for, going out and cutting loose, enjoying life, having fun with your friends. You guys are working. Ella, you're working. You're a high school senior, and you are working on Fridays and Saturdays. And Connor, you too, and also you play club hockey at ASU, and which introduces a cool element because of that experience and what we're going to be doing with Grand Canyon University here in the next few weeks, even. But if this is what you want to do, you'll have that platform here, and that goes out to all students out there that are interested in pursuing this profession. Broadcast, sports journalism, broadcast media production. If you're listening to this show and you're interested in this profession, give us a call. because it is definitely, and we get a lot of testimonials, both good and bad. There's a lot of students that go through this, and they're like, man, that was horrible. I don't ever want to do this again. I'm going to go sell shoes for a living, which is fine. That's a noble profession, but it's total the polar opposite of what we do here. So, it's incredible. So I am so excited, so happy to continue to see all of your work. Connor, you got a lot of upside. You got a lot of great things on the horizon, and the fact that everything you're doing on the broadcast and production side is setting you up nicely. Ella, you too, you're a high school senior, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to provide this platform. We are for all the high schools that have interns that are working with us as well. It's been a good experience. What's final 30 seconds? What would you tell other people interested in this program as an intern? Ella, you go first.
I would tell other people just to go for it. I mean, you're not too young or too old to do it. I mean, I'm a high school senior, and I'm working with college seniors.
Yeah.
And just go for it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Connor, 10 seconds.
Just continue to work, recognize it's going to be work, but try and have some fun with it, because at the end of the day, it's what you want to do, and you should enjoy what you want to do.
Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning into the Varsity Sports Show. We got one more segment. It's J.R. Lambright's Texas Tales, all the way from Kilgore, Texas. Take it away, Aaron.
LD was born into a land where impoverished farmers struggle, especially with cotton, the cash crop. Her father, a local lumber baron, gave his children a choice: gold or seemingly worthless land as an inheritance. Her brothers chose gold, but LD chose land to please her father. At the local school, LD met William. They married, and William started a mercantile business, selling everything from candy to coffins on IOUs, helping the struggling residents. They had children, including Robert, who served in the armed forces and was killed in action. William passed away 2 months later. With unwavering faith, LD built a new home on an old hotel site, and her son Malcolm ran the mercantile store for 12 years. Poverty was a constant in Kilgore, so the 1929 stock market crash didn't worsen the situation. Then, oil was discovered on LD's land the following year. Malcolm forgave all IOUs as opportunists and criminals descended on the town. The Texas Rangers, led by M.T. Lone Wolf Gonzalez, brought order, and Ludella Thompson Krim provided housing for the lawmen. The Rangers restored civility, and the nightly gunfire from the oil boom subsided. Within a decade, the East Texas oil field supplied most of the oil needed for World War II. Ludella generously supported local churches with oil wealth and ensured the Roughnecks' children received their share, often in the form of cookies, until she died in 1954 at age 86. Malcolm's belief in vast oil reserves beneath his mother's land is well known, but the true lesson she imparted was how hope, born through faith, can forge unyielding resolve.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KTUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.